So before this video starts, I just want to point out there are swearing in this video and they will be censored. If y'all start to get uncomfortable or unsettled from this reaction video you're about to watch, I would suggest to leave the video or watch it at your own risk. But me and Blue, we are not responsible if you guys have nightmares, which I probably doubt you will, who knows. But yeah, and please keep your hate comments to yourself, guys, because yeah, there might be some complaining you might hear of me or something, but just please, for the love of gosh, fellow shapes, please like this video because this actually really scared me. I'm not even joking. But yeah, and don't forget to subscribe also, and subscribe to BlueGamerHeart and Driftaroni. So yeah, let's get to it. What's going on, fellow shapes? CubicThePinkShape here, and yeah, I know I'm late. Leave me alone. It's been so long since I got to do a reaction video. Well, yeah, I've been trying to figure out some ideas what to do on my channel, and I've been working on that album that I mentioned in the community that I was gonna work on a second album. It's kind of taking a while, but I'm still trying to get it done. Today we are going to be reacting to a video that Blue made, and holy shit, it is 26 minutes. Look, I think I don't know. Didn't Cybic did a video that was long? I think I want to say 16 minutes. I'm not sure. I might have to look back later after this, but yeah, the video we're gonna be looking at is Creepy Drosta, the Cyber's infection. Yeah, will this idiotic shape be jump scared or probably scared of something and fall out of his seat again like last time?
Wait, why is she? I mean, sorry, I got the thing messed up. Oh my.
Ow! Oh my god. Ow! I'm alright. Or will he be okay? Who knows? Yeah, let's get to it, shall we? And I can see that fucking counter. Let's get started. Also, by the way, yeah, I'm on this side because I had to move my camera from a different spot. So, yeah, it may be a little awkward at first, but don't worry. You'll probably get used to it, who knows. Show my volume.
I'd like to warn you now, my gamers. This video does contain gore and blood imagery and horror-related topics of writing and drawing.
Yeah, no shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. I'm sorry.
If you are sensitive to any of these topics, you should probably skip this video for your own safety.
Yeah, but do I have any safety that I had to react to this?
It won't be my fault if you get nightmares if you choose to ignore this. It probably wouldn't happen, though. You have been warned.
Yeah, let's see if I don't fall out of the shit again. Let's go.
This story starts with a single energon cube.
Oh.
In the cities of Cybertron, everything was in chaos. The streets dirty and rigid. The buildings always destroyed and empty now. Cybertronians were in a panic to survive, but the team on Earth didn't know that, or didn't know specifically what was going on. All they knew was that something was causing their area on Earth to crumble into shambles. The skies were a cloudy gray. The city was filled with an eerie silence and dread. All the humans inside Crown City had either evacuated or died in the events. What was happening was what everyone wanted to know. Nearly all the Cybertronians on Earth, mostly Decepticons and some sprinkled in Autobots, had caught something. An infection of sorts. Their bodies, twisted and deformed, starved and crazed for the taste of whatever infected them.
Ooh.
But before this had started, things were fine, peaceful as ever. In fact, the team had split to cover more city and ground through Ground Bridge. Half stayed, half left, which unfortunately caused them to be separated for the time being. They weren't far, no. That wasn't the problem. It was the monsters that lurked around the forest, attacking anyone they spotted, tearing their limbs and feasting upon their energon. Optimus Prime had already suffered that fate when attempting to protect one of the team members, therefore resulting in his infection. The team supply unit was becoming scarce, energon levels were becoming low, the energon stash slowly depleting in numbers. The team had started to ration energon consumption to minimize the chances of leaving the scrapyard, because the chances of coming back were lower than their energon supplies. This led to many of the team members to lose some weight. Never before had they ever had to ration out their food source, the very lively fluid of their bodily function. But in such a case, the leader, Lieutenant Bumblebee, took the case of this virus very seriously. No one was to patrol alone anymore. He didn't want anyone to scavenge unless absolutely necessary. No one was to leave, not even to search for Team 2. The other Autobots that were still out there, somewhere. No matter how much the team members begged and cried to allow Bumblebee to try and reach out to Team 2, each time he refused, acknowledging the dangers that laid beyond those rust-covered walls. Swift didn't take the accommodation well. For Drift, her best friend, was still out there with the others, potentially fighting for their very function out there. Every day, she cried to Bumblebee, hoping to get a different reply out of him each time.
Okay, sorry, I had to pause this. I do not like how the freaking music is, along with the story. Like, what the hell? Wow.
But it was all in vain, for his replies stayed the same, only each time getting more agitated than the last.
It's not even the scary
Swift
bit
never
yet,
wanted
but
to be
still, I'm
separated
getting
from her,
uneasy a little.
even when splitting the team to scavenge. But due to being the only female seeker in the team, she was highly requested to stay back. Losing someone that had eyes in the sky was out of the question. Windblade was still on Cybertron, so she wasn't present with them either. If, maybe, Windblade had stayed behind with the team, maybe Swift would have been allowed to accompany her ride-or-die ally. But alas, she was glued to the base, unable to leave due to Bumblebee's command and the fear of the unknown outside the pillars of scrap and the walls behind them. Dreadquill, one of Swift's older brothers, was on his D-pad trying to get an update from Cybertron. Any news of what was happening in the outside world would be a delight to them all. Dreadquill sighed, having barely any luck on his side, slumping down against the communications center's silver dim walls. His quills glowed dimly, illuminating a soft dark blue hue around his quills, shining gently off his frame. Many of the team members were just doing their own thing around the base. Grimlock was punching some scrap, attempting to keep himself entertained. Swift was polishing her wings, oiling them to keep them running smoothly in case she needed to fly, which still Bumblebee forbade her to do, for her engine could attract the monsters to them. Strongarm was reading her law book. Even with her love for the law, she too felt empty, with no longer allowed being granted a solo patrol, or a patrol at that. Stormflare and Voidstrike, Swift's other older brothers, were making small talk in a way to try and lighten up their moods, though the small talk was more dead than the graveyard that had become of the once industrious city nearby. Driftquill had begun to draw picture after picture, endlessly using her art supplies, desperate to not be driven to the quiet insanity that was surrounding their scrapyard. And Bumblebee? He was counting the energon supplies that were left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes of heaven. Yet still, that wasn't enough to feed all of them. Each person was allowed a cube to share with one person of their choice, a rule made by Bumblebee with the hope of lasting longer. Unfortunately, the lack of one cube made Bumblebee's skin crawl. The day he had been dreading had finally come. The day he would need to scavenge for more supplies, which meant venturing out into the woods to gather energon if possible. But knowing what lurked in those once peaceful evergreens made his fears surface. His eyes looked down at his feet, his servo shaking like a dead leaf in the winter. He shuddered at the thought, but knew he had to come to terms of what he needed to do. He walked to the main area, shaking with every step. Suddenly, there was a gleeful yelp. It was Dreadquill. Guys, I finally have a news channel! We can finally know what's happening on Cybertron!
Yo, fellow shapes, I wish I was kidding with you guys. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm starting to shake a bit. I'm not even kidding right now.
Dreadquill cheered. The dull atmosphere changed to a hopeful one. If things played out well, they could finally have some questions be answered. Everyone, upon hearing the call of Dreadquill, rushed to the communication center to see what the news had to say. "What are you waiting for, Dreadquill? Put it on," Strongarm said, anticipated. No one could barely keep themselves still with the curiosity of what or who started this whole infection. Dreadquill linked his D-pad connection to the screen of the communication center and pressed play. The screen showed chaos and destruction of buildings. Cybertronians lay decaying in the backgrounds of the camera. The whole town they were filming in was in utter panic. Screams and wails of children rang in the background. Then, the voice of a female emerged from the forgotten speakers. Her voice, even trying to sound professional, could be heard trembling to hide the roaring fear inside of her.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my god, no, man.
I'm done.
No! Oh my god. Okay, let's go.
Reporting from Alta Hex's Main Street, where things appear to be in complete shambles. Shockwave's science team has recently found out that a parasite has infected most energon sources base-wide. It started with one single energon cube that was opened and dropped by a co-worker of the Enter Processor factory that released the parasite and allowed it to reach the energon supply and duplicate to contaminate it all. The side effects of this parasite have been found to have stages, beginning stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and finally stage 4. As the stages progress, it'll be less likely for the bot to be cured from the monstrosity it turns out to be. The parasite is known, from our knowledge, to feed on the energon it once took refuge inside of. Once it enters your body from either wounds or energon consumption, the stages will begin in merely a few minutes to an hour if one's lucky. Research is still being discovered and there's still no cure. If you are in need of energon, check it first. There's a minor difference in color from the original color of energon that could be told from closer inspection. That's all we know. May Primus be with us all. But be safe, everyone. Lakeshot signing out. There were more screams as there was growling before the cameraman turned around towards one of the infected Cybertronians, leaping at them, mouth unhinged, freakishly wide. There were screams before there was energon splattered everywhere on the ground now, the camera laying sideways. Then it was grabbed and could only see the jaws of the killer and was bitten before the stream ended. The screen went black. Each of the team's faces went as pale as white as ashes. Their optics were filled with horror, shunned at what they had just gathered at the video of the news. They looked at each other, Bumblebee holding his breath. What was that? Dreadquill's voice quivered, tears forming in terror of the horrors to behold from the video. The team remained silent as they all looked at each other. Silence once again filled the room. As quick as the hopeful atmosphere came, it left and was instead replaced with a horrified atmosphere, and a feeling of dread consumed them all. Dreadquill's red optics became four-corner fearful stars as his breathing quickened. Wait, so those were the monsters that have been surrounding us and in those woods? Are you freaking kidding me? Are we gonna die here? Is this really it? Stormflare pulled his younger brother close, gently rubbing his head, hushing him gently. No, Dreadquill, we will not die here. None of us will. I will make sure of it. Stormflare's voice was reassuring, but only for the moment. Everyone knew no one had the sense of leaving alive. They were all scared. Now knowing what lurked inside those woods made them terrified. Everyone wanted to be outside before, but now hearing the news of what was happening to everyone, even the thought of stepping foot outside the safe barriers of the scrapyard was dreadful. Bumblebee took a deep breath as he looked away, not being able to look his friends in the optic. This is a terrible time to say, but we're short on energon now. Bumblebee's voice quivered. The team looked at him, bewildered and frightened. The soft blue lighting of the hologram video shined on each of their armors, illuminating the expression of dread on the team's faces. Bumblebee clenched his fist and turned his head. Even with the little we have left, not everyone can eat half. I hate to say this now, but we must go out and scavenge. Surely not all of us, Lieutenant, right? Strongarm asked, her servos resting weak at her sides. She couldn't even look at the others either. The thought of seeing any of the team members lost would break her spark. Bumblebee quickly shook his head and looked at Strongarm. Of course not, Strongarm, Bumblebee replied quickly, his voice raising with concern. He then turned to the team as he took a breath and continued on with his statement. Though whoever is up for scavenging is not going alone. You will be accompanied by one person only.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not talking very much, fellow Shays. But I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm not even kidding about all of this right now. Like, I'm literally about to cry. I don't know how is this even possible. I never seen this ever happening in one of my videos. Uh, oh my god.
The bigger the group, the riskier it gets. So only 2 bots will go out to scavenge for food. So, any volunteers? As expected, no one replied. Everyone looked away in unison, in hopes Bumblebee wouldn't pick them. The only one that did not give any kind of reply was Voidstrike, mostly because he was paralyzed with this new fear unlocked, not for his safety, but for the others' safety, especially his younger siblings. Voidstrike was already undead, but there was no telling if he too could be infected by this parasite. It terrified him beyond any other near-death experience he's faced in the past. Swift, noticing the lack of a reply with everyone, gave a sigh as she stepped forth, trying to appear confident. Her wings flared up in an attempt to seem bigger and more certain of her decision, though her inner wings were flared downwards, showing the true fear she felt within her spark and processor. "I'll go, Bumblebee," Swift said, her voice...
Are you fucking crazy, Swift? You cannot be serious. I know you're worried about Drift. Look, Swift, I like you and all. You're an amazing character, along with the others as well. But are you serious? You're gonna freaking go out there and who knows what the fuck is gonna happen once you're, I don't know, flying, walking, who knows? Anyway.
seeming assured and calm, yet determined and certain of what she wanted. The team looked at her as if she had just asked Bumblebee to kill her. They saw going outside as a suicide, a death trap.
Oh,
If
shit.
Swift wasn't careful, she could certainly become one of those infected Decepticons that roam around, aching in endless suffering and hunger. Yet she would still take the mission to make sure no one else could fall in potential danger. Bumblebee nodded as he looked up at her very seriously.
Ay, que mierda. Are you kidding me? Why? You know, I'm not gonna say anything at this point.
All right, Swift, you may go, but the moment you see something out of the ordinary, I don't care if you have no energon cubes in hand. You come back immediately with your partner,
Thank
okay?
you.
Bumblebee said, stern as ever. He was certainly serious in Swift's safety and her losing her spot at the safe zone of the base. Swift nodded, knowing she would follow his orders to the T. She couldn't disobey, no matter the cost, for her sake and her function. "I'll go with her, Lieutenant. You can count on me to watch her back and help her scout," Drukquil said, stepping forth, the team having the same reaction as when Swift took the task, bewildered and taken aback. Bumblebee turned to him and gave another soft nod. "Same story goes to you, Drukquil. If you see anything unusual or unnatural, you grab Swift and you two immediately make your way back here or into hiding. Understood?" "Understood, Bumblebee. I won't let you or the team down. We'll return with a bunch of energon," Drukquil said confidently, gently bringing Swift close and protectively. "Then you both may go. May Primus be with you along the way," Bumblebee said, following the two outside near the entrance gate, the other team members following close behind. The feeling of fear rose in all of them. A teammate going outside the scrapyard with what's happening was already risky, but two going out at the same time was beyond what anyone could think. But what was done had to be finished. But hopefully, if Primus smiled upon their journey, they both would return back safely. Let's just hope that was the case. Those were the team members' last thoughts before saying their temporary farewells to Swift and Drukquil, before they both walked out of the scrapyard to begin their scavenge for energon. Hours had passed. Rain began to drizzle gently from the nearly night sky. The clouds blocked the moon's gentle glow, shining down on the chilling forest. The rain sounds gently fluttering onto the leaves above.
Oh my god. Bro, that's the fucking drawing that she encounters Drift. I thought that was just like a freaking like what a hallucination. I thought that was a hallucination. Oh my god, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why are you making me react to this shit? Why? I mean, yes, I seen. Okay, yes, I know I seen the Psycho Nozutoka one, but this is like far much worse than it. Like freaking more scarier and uneasy, unsettling.
Could have been reassuring if only the place wasn't filled with frights. Draco had decided to take a breather, for he and Swift had found at least 7 large energon cubes, fully uninfected. What a lucky find. However, they both agreed to go back with at least 10 cubes, so only 3 more cubes away from returning to safety. They fully knew they were playing with fire to go for so many for the first time, but they knew Bumblebee would be overjoyed to know they got so many energon cubes and still return safely. Upon them taking a break from a long forage, Swift had decided to look around the land more, mainly in search of any nearby cubes or crystals of energon. Draco noticed his sister wandering and grew nervous. "Swift, don't venture too far without me. We don't know what could be out here." Or who. Draco warned, his crimson eyes slightly shrinking from the fear of the unknown that wandered in these very woods they once called their patrol grounds. "Don't worry, I won't. Besides, I'm just looking around." Swift, who was calling out to her brother, had lowered into a confused mutter, for her optics had caught sight of something. Something not glowing, not supernatural, but merely confusing. There, near a giant oak tree, stood a figure, a Cybertronian figure, their back facing away from Swift, seemingly just staring at the tree. They did not seem scared, nor harmed, nor crazed. They just stood idle in front of the tree. Swift took a few steps towards it.
For fuck's sake, Swift, what are you doing?
4-meter gap between her and the figure. Upon closer inspection, she recognized the familiar form, the familiar orange and black paint job, the slight touches of red and the bulky build. It was Drift. Swift's eyes widened and began to shimmer in the happiness and relief. Drift was safe and unharmed. "Drift! Oh, thank the primes you're okay! How did you get here?" Swift asked, taking another step towards Drift's familiar frame. His digits gently twitched, but he did not turn around, yet he still spoke. "I had barely escaped the infected. I managed to make it out alive, but the others and I had to split due to how many were
Oh my god, thank goodness. Okay. Thank goodness. Okay.
on our tailpipes. I had lost my pupils. They are somewhere, and I hope they are safe." Drift's gentle words gave Swift reassurance. If Drift was alive, the others had to be as well, right? Swift's smile grew as the rain grew slightly heavier around the 2 lost friends. Swift continued to slowly approach. "Well, what you waiting for? Come give your old friend a hug!" she squeaked excitedly. However, as she began to approach with bigger steps, she suddenly felt a hand grab at her servo, yanking her backwards. Draco had kept her from going any further as he kept her at his side. Swift was confused and annoyed at her brother's weird behavior. "Dritz, what the hell are you doing?" Swift's voice was muffled as Draco covered her mouth. His voice shook as he talked to her. "Sis, what the hell are you doing?" he said softly yet sternly, his hand being removed from Swift's mouth as he spoke. Swift groaned in annoyance as she looked up at her brother, who had continued to hold her unconditionally. "Ugh, saying hello to my best friend, duh. Look, he's right there," Swift said, feeling conflicted if Draco was just being paranoid or if something was really wrong. Draco didn't reply as he looked at Drift, who had yet to move when Swift was pulled back by her brother. Draco, suspicious, used his optics to zoom in to take a closer look at him. As his optics zoomed in on Drift's frame, he began a test he had recently installed to see if he was infected or not. This was something B had the team install to see who was safe to be trusted if or not in case they ever met any survivors. He began to run the test very carefully. Back head features: clean, polished correctly, no damage sustained. Clear, uninfected. Back, clean, polished correctly, no damage sustained. Clear, uninfected. Legs, clean, polished correctly, no damage sustained, clear, uninfected. Arms, clean, polished correctly, no damage sustained. Features of digits, changed, unnatural, black fingertips, paler than usual, infected.
Why the fuck? Yeah, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Why wouldn't he be infected? Fuck. I don't want to react to this anymore. I'm almost at my fucking limit at this point. No, I'm not. I'm not mad. I'm not. Whatever. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Draco paused, his optics shrinking. His hold on Swift grew weaker as his legs began to quiver, quills dimming in pure terror. The wind blowing against his frame only making him shiver thus more. Swift noticed this as she rolled her eyes. She assumed Dreadcool was just being untrusting and paranoid. Drift isn't infected, if that's what you're so concerned about. Now can I finally say hi to my friend? She asked as Dreadcool quickly kept her close and moved her to stay behind him. Swift was even more confused and genuinely started to wonder if Dreadcool was truly terrified by something. Dreadcool, not taking his eyes off Drift, spoke gently to his sister. Sis, I hate to break it to you, but that's not Drift. The words pierced Swift as the sparkle she had faded and returned to concern and confusion. She looked at Dreadcool, her blue optics dimmed and shrunk gently. What are you on about? Of course it's Drift, Swift said in denial that Drift could ever be corrupted in any way. He never went down without a fight. Dreadcool shook his head as he turned her sight to Drift's hands. They seemed fine. Only they appeared to be lighter than she last saw them. Only his fingertips appeared to be darker and seemed like they were burned. Only his digits seemed to be longer than any normal Cybertronian being that didn't have claws. Drift normally had flat-ended fingers, not sharp-ended ones. Swift nearly realized this feature instantly. Look at his hands. That's not normal for him. That's not Drift. You've grown smarter last time.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! No! 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 Nah, I'm not messing with that. No! No! What the hell? What happened? Why did I went too far? What happened? What the hell happened?
You've grown smarter last time we met, Dreadcool. Drift's voice began to appear more corrupt and dark. It's like a voice changer had completely engulfed his voice. Turning his head, they saw the horrifying features of his face. His eyes.
I want to end this video. I want to end this, but I can't because I promised to do this shit. Oh my god. Wow, I really am a chicken shit. Wow. You know, no, I'm not gonna end this video because I just started watching it. Yeah, I know. I know I said that I was gonna do another reaction video, and like I know I'm scared and all, but fuck. Because even if even if I end the video right away, y'all are probably gonna be like, "Oh, why did you end the video so quickly, Cubic? Do you not see what's going on right here? Do you not see what is happening in this freaking video?" Okay, anyways.
Eyes were as black as smoke, bleeding and crying out what appeared to be blackness. His jaw was unhinged, reaching down nearly to his collarbone, filled with nothing but an endless darkness. The front of his armor was completely destroyed, seeming torn apart and gutted alive. Blood was dripping from his chest, stomach, and legs. His mouth was twisted into a deranged grin, unnaturally wide. Maybe too smart for your own good. Swift, Dreadpool paused as he saw Drift fully look towards them, showing off his fully mangled and destroyed body. He quickly turned his head sideways, and a loud crack emerged. The crack was unnatural and sounded like someone just broke his neck. His smile remained as he looked at both of the siblings, as if trying to size up his next meal to see how much time he had to tear each of them apart. Dreadpool, knowing what this meant, immediately chipped a quill off his head to use as a defense. Run. What? Swift, run! Dreadpool yelled, causing Drift to run at them with an audio-piercing screech of a mix of something.
Oh my fucking lord, can you stop that? Oh my god. Fuck.
Supernatural and demented. Dreadpool tried to defend Swift to let her get in her escape, but she couldn't move, only a few steps back. However, Dreadpool was quickly shoved aside as Drift wanted Swift as the first victim, seeing she was the easiest out of the two. Swift was tackled down first as she screamed, beginning to try and wrestle Drift off of her. Drift attempted to several times to bite at her, at different parts of her upper body, her head, her neck.
How are you gonna bite her with no teeth, though? Unless I'm not seeing it. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just fucking tripping. Who knows? Anyways.
Her shoulder, any part he tried to latch his jaw onto. However, Swift held him back, not allowing him to bite or claw at her. Dreadpool got up as he stabbed the demented being in the back of the head, allowing the quill to stick.
Fucking god, bro. I swear this is giving me fucking trauma.
A loud shriek erupted from Drift's throat, one of pure pain and rage. Dreadpool used this as an opportunity to grab him and throw him off his sister. Dreadpool got atop the creature and proceeded to stab him multiple times in the head. Energon went everywhere, right into him and the quill he was using. All of a sudden, Drift's head began to glitch, as if it was nothing but an illusion. But no, it glitched and showed part of Optimus's face. Then the body began to glitch, then the legs, then the arms. The illusion was soon down, as the disfigured creature wasn't Drift. It was Optimus. The voice also deformed, so now the cries of pain sounded more like a demented version of Optimus. Dreadpool had stopped due to the sudden shock of this realization. This gave Optimus the opportunity to shove Dreadpool off towards his sister and scurry into the darkness of the deeper part of the woods. As the rain continued, Swift and Dreadpool sat there for a few minutes extra, trying to process the events that had just occurred. They nearly just died to an illusion of all things, or some sort of shapeshifter, or whatever Optimus had become. Dreadpool and Swift were panting as they both looked at each other, optics wide open in fear. Dreadpool got up and offered a hand to Swift, which she took. "You okay, Swift?" Dreadpool asked as he helped his sister, who now had mud on her from being tackled down. Swift swallowed a gulp as she nodded gently and checked herself. Yeah, as okay as I can get after what just happened. Only some minor dents from the impact. You okay?" she replied back, looking now back at her big brother, to which he replied with a short yet firm nod. The two looked towards the energon cubes Dreadpool had put down not far from where he was relaxing when he went to check on Swift. They glowed gently as the rain dripped softly off the cube containers the energon was held in, untouched and unscathed. Swift and Dreadpool looked at each other once more and seemed nervous. "Want to keep this between you and I?" Dreadpool asked gently, not wanting to get in trouble with Bumblebee because Swift disobeyed his orders by accident. Well, kinda. "Absolutely," Swift replied shortly after as the two walked over to the cubes and agreed to make haste back to the base. They didn't care that they didn't reach their goals of 10 energon cubes. They were just happy to be alive. Though the team already knew what had happened to Optimus Prime, they'd have to tell the team soon what he has really become. That is, if the whole team lives long enough to know the truth of what had happened to them. But one thing's for sure, Swift and Dreadpool will not be scavenging for more energon anytime soon.
Please, are we almost done? Are we almost done?
Did my story end up giving you the chills?
What the hell? Well, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to go through one of them to say what's my favorite part.
Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know if you'd want a part 2 so I can get started on it in
Hell no, hell no. Please, no. No, don't do part 2, please. I'm already traumatized enough, come on. Yeah, I keep on gaming, but you're gonna make me become a game over soon. What the? You're gonna give me a heart attack. Fellas, I know I always say, like, let's go through some parts and stuff, but I'm not going through that. No, I need a rest. Like, what? I need a rest from all of what the hell that I just fucking saw. Is no, why couldn't this be a Halloween series? There should have been a Halloween series or something. This, I have to admit, this is really good. This took a lot of work. I can see why it took a while. Um, yeah, anyway, uh, yeah, fuck off that counter! Alright, anyway, so, okay, so, new song is out, Avatar Liberator. It was releasing freaking, uh, Valentine's Day. Go check it out if you guys want to. I don't know soon. I've been trying to think about like selling some of my songs on Bandcamp, but that's probably gonna be a future plan. But so yeah, anyways, I love you all. Take care of my fellow shapes. I'm probably gonna need a break for a while. I don't know, but we'll see what happens if I do plan to do another video. Okay. Oh yeah, I have a music channel if you want to check it out as well. Pink Shape Records. Anyway, love you all. Take care of my fellow shapes. Bye.